Welcome everyone to week 10 of the Go Healthy program. Can't believe we are in week 10 already, but we definitely are. Today we're going to be talking about last week's assignment. We'll talk about the topic for today, which is emotional eating, discuss the week's assignment, introduce next week's topic, and just to give a reminder about the Go Healthy tracker. So last week we talked about motivation and momentum. So we talked about what motivation is, and motivation is your why. It's what is motivating you. It's what's keeping you going. To sustain or regain momentum, it's to have one or more strong motivators, to set and achieve SMART goals, and to work on your Go Healthy fundamentals. Expect and prepare for challenges and setbacks. Have a support system or accountability partner. So, those are four key strategies to help you sustain or regain your momentum if you have lost it. So, first is having one or more strong motivators. So, that's your why, whether that's to lose weight, whether that is to reduce the amount of medications that you're taking, save money on healthcare, improve your blood pressure, improve your blood sugar, have more energy, look better, feel better, whatever your motivators are, having at least one, ideally more, is what keeps you motivated. So, setting, achieving your SMART goals. So, that's going back to those Go Healthy fundamentals that we've talked about. Making sure you get the 64 ounces of water in daily, getting activity in, so at least 30 to 60 minutes of activity a day, making sure you're getting those 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, using that guide to smart food choices, and then practicing portion control with the either two options, um, using meal replacements, which is optional, and then the other one is using the My Plate for portion control. Expect and prepare for challenges and setbacks. Again, we're all going to have challenges that come up. Fortunately, that is life. All of us have encountered some sort of challenge in our life, some sort of setback in our life. And when you expect and know that they're going to come up and prepare for how you can overcome them, that can definitely help you with sustaining your momentum or regaining that momentum back. Lastly, having a support system or accountability partner, I know that goes a long way. When you have someone that is supporting you or doing whatever, those changes are right alongside you, it definitely can help keep that momentum up. Today we're going to be talking about emotional eating. I know this is and can be a big barrier for people. So, what is emotional eating? Emotional eating is a way to suppress or soothe negative emotions such as stress, anger, fear, boredom, sadness, loneliness, major life events, or the hassles of daily life. But it also can be eating as a part of positive emotions, such as happy and comforting memories. Where emotional eating becomes a problem is when it is increased when the food intake is increased and it leads to weight gain. So I have a video that I want to show you all. I'm going to stop sharing my presentation, and then I'm going to pull that video up. But in the video, it talks about tips to stop stress eating. There are going to be 2 questions that will be answered in the video. The first question is, why do we emotional eat? And the second is, how do we stop emotional eating? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. Then I'm going to pull that video up.
there, Susan with Positively Fit You here, and today we're going to talk about stress eating. And be sure to watch till the end so you can get my free tip sheet on stopping your stress eating. We all do it from time to time. We stress eat for many reasons. And most of the time, when we stress eat, we realize what we're doing, but we continue to do it. And then we get mad at ourselves, right? But then what happens? We do it again the next time we're stressed or worried about something. How can we stop the cycle of stress eating if food is our go to when we're worried or stressed? Now, first of all, there are different reasons why we stress eat. First of all, there's a physiological reason. When we get stressed, our body releases cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Cortisol can cause us to have cravings, and usually those cravings aren't for chicken and veggies. Usually we crave sugar or salt or fatty foods, carbs. Then, when we eat, food does create chemical changes in the body which can soothe us temporarily. That's the key word. We aren't soothed for long, and then how do we feel later? We also may go to food when we're stressed because of connections that we might have in our minds with food and emotions. Maybe it's childhood experiences. Most of us were probably rewarded at times with ice cream after a soccer game or going out to dinner for our favorite high calorie meal after a good report card. We as adults still do this, right? We celebrate with food a lot more than we should, but we do. So when we're stressed, we tend to connect food with relaxing and happiness, and maybe it works temporarily. We also stress eat to distract ourselves. One of my best friends from growing up is married to a police officer and he mainly works nights. She tells me that she often catches herself stress eating in order to shift her attention away from worrying about him. Now, this can be the same with parents whose 16-year-old son just got his driver's license and he's not home yet. Or if we're stressed about work or a relationship or finances or an illness, food can take our attention away from whatever we're worried about temporarily. So, how do we stop stress eating? The first step is recognizing what we're doing and asking ourselves this question: am I physically hungry? If the answer is no, it's best to fill the void that we're attempting to fill with food with something else. Now, if you really do want to eat something, the best thing to do is to not have trigger foods in your house. Trigger foods are foods that cause us to want more and more and more and then not be able to stop. Now, this may be sugar or salt, or for some people, even something like cereal. If you know that you have a problem with a certain food, it's best to get it out of the house. We can't eat what we don't have. It's also about finding foods that replace sugary or salty snacks that may be your go to. I often have my favorite protein bars cut up into halves or quarters, and then I have them in little sandwich baggies. That way, if I really want something, I go and I grab a little baggie, take it to a different room, eat it slowly, and then go brush my teeth. There are also healthier salty snacks that you can pre portion too. Of course, if you know you aren't physically hungry, it's best to avoid food altogether, but it's definitely a good idea to have healthier options readily available. Now, stress and worry obviously can cause us to want to eat, but there are some other things that can help with these emotions that don't cause weight gain and don't cause us to feel crappy later. The better thing to do instead of going for food if you're not hungry is to have a list, a physical list of things that relax you. This may be taking a bath, doing your favorite yoga stretch, sitting in silence meditating for 5 minutes, making yourself a cup of tea that you enjoy, or even something as simple as lighting a couple candles. Now, I just read you my list, and I do have these things on a physical list that I keep handy for when I'm stressed or worried about something and I just want to go to the fridge. All of these things that I just mentioned seem like little treats to me. So I will pick one and I'll do it. These things make us feel better, which is what we're looking for when we're stressed or worried. We're looking for something to ease the stress. It's much better to pick something with 0 calories, right? Now, it's important to remember that stress eating only causes us more stress. The temporary effects of food when we're stressed are very, very short lived. And then we don't feel good. When we don't feel good physically, we have a harder time dealing with stress, and that makes it worse. And we also get stressed when we realize we've gained weight, right? So today, when you're done watching this video, if stress eating is something that goes on with you, make your list of things that relax you and keep it handy. You will be happy that you did. Now, be sure to go to the description of this video and click the link to get my free tip sheet on stopping your stress eating. If you like this video,
All right. I'm going to go back to sharing the PowerPoint. Please give me 1 second. So the first question was, why do we emotional eat? And like she said in the video, it can be a physiological reason in response to stress. So with that cortisol hormone, connections in our mind with food and emotions, and also maybe to distract ourselves, whatever we're stressing about or whatever we're going through. So question 2, she talked about how do we stop emotional eating? And there's 2 steps. The first step is recognizing if you're experiencing emotional or physical hunger. Emotional is your hunger comes on suddenly. Physical, your hunger comes on gradually. Emotional, you must be satisfied instantly. Physical, your needs can wait. Emotional, you crave specific comfort foods. Physical, lots of foods sound good to you. Emotional, you eat quickly and it's usually in private. Physical is taking your time and eating with good company. Emotional, you're not satisfied with a full stomach with emotional hunger. Physical hunger, you stop eating when you're full. Emotional, after eating, you have feelings of shame, guilt, or powerlessness. Versus physical hunger, after eating, you do not feel bad about yourself. So the second step is to replace emotional eating with something else. So the first step is recognizing. So if you do recognize that it's emotional hunger, then at this time it's time to replace it with 1 or 2 options. The first option is replace the unhealthy comfort foods with healthier foods. Or you can replace with non-food distractions or activities. This can be listening to music, calling a friend or a loved one, exercising, taking a soothing bath or shower, reading, doing inside or outside chores, praying or meditating, drinking a hot cup of coffee or tea, practicing deep breathing, um, engaging in a hobby. So this week's assignment is to really start working on recognizing when you have emotional hunger versus physical hunger. If it is emotional, then you replace it with healthier foods or non-food distractions or activities. Your assignment this week is to create a list of non-food distractions or activities. Again, create a list of non-food distractions or activities. And of course, continue to work on meeting all your minimum fundamentals every day. Next week, we are going to be talking about health management. So we'll talk about how everything we've talked about so far, is in conjunction with health management. And then lastly, if you're not turning your tracker in, please make sure you get your tracker in for the week. That's all I have. Thank you all so much. And look forward to week 11 with you all. Thank you.